So as you heard from Lucy, I am the Marketing and Business Development Director, so I have to wear that hat for 30 seconds. So whoever is not a member in the crowd, please come see me, because we have to fix that problem. Okay, so on to NFS. I'm going to give a very small context, because I actually want to dedicate as much time to our speakers as possible and allow the audience to get some questions in. I know this is a very critical topic, and many of us still try to understand how to do it right. So non-financial services, or NFS, as we're going to refer to it throughout the discussion, is an essential part of a value proposition to women. Women tend to report lower levels of financial literacy, time constraints, lack of awareness of financial products and available credit products. They also tend to have less business experience, smaller networks, both of which are vital for a business to succeed. And so all of these makes NFS a critical for WSME to succeed. Globally, in fact, studies and reports show that non-financial services are critical for women to realize their full potential as entrepreneurs. Now, this means that for financial services providers, offering financial and business education, mentoring, networking, recognition opportunities are a key component of their value proposition. Many of them partner actually with relevant third parties, such as accelerators, training institutions, business associations, government programs, in delivering their promise, reducing their cost, and also building on the expertise of these respective institutions. This results in value for clients in terms of services they get, but also for the financial institution in terms of reducing cost. And then finally, also access to additional customer data, which is, I think, key throughout the 2 days that we've been hearing. So this panel is going to explore the diverse and innovative business models from the Alliance Network, building on many years of know-how and what works and what does not work. So I'm going to start with a question for BRAC and ATB, so KHADIJA and NIKKI. Both of you are leading great work within your own respective and very diverse and different environments in Bangladesh and in Canada. In your experience, so what non-financial services have actually had the most impact on your female entrepreneurs, and why? And if you can, maybe in your answer, dissect that by segments of women that you are targeting, so that we have a better understanding. So KHADIJA, why don't we start with you?
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's really great to share this audience with us and share our experience with it. And female women, that's a very complex creature, I must say. So finding one solution for everyone is really difficult. And we faced it really hardly, and we burned our hand and experienced and now come to a point where we can actually say that what works best for probably majority of the women entrepreneurs and women SMEs. So yeah, starting from the complexity, we need to understand their psychology better, what they understand, what they need. Women are very much loyal. Their loyalty is to the extreme level, both for positive and negatives. What we understood that when, as a bank and financial institution, when we say to a woman entrepreneur, okay, ma'am, can you just hold and not take this loan for next 6 months? Just wait, prepare your business, because your business is not ready currently for this financing and all. And can you just wait for 6 months? Trust me, they cannot take it easily. But they are not going to go to another bank. They will haunt me for next 6 months, and they will stick to us. If they want to take the loan, they will take us from us. Even though a woman entrepreneur, if we can actually satisfy her with services, she will be stick to us for like next 60 years. They're not going to go to another bank and all. So that's how the loyalty comes in, and we really take humane approaches for NFSs, because women love emotions and relationship other than transactions. Maybe a higher rate won't matter if we can actually treat her well, if we can give her the confidence that yes, I'm with you, with your all the bad and all the goods. So yes, for NFSs, I think that best way and approach for proven model for us was to access to market initiative. Women really lack networking, market, and providing proper channel for mobilizing their products. And they're very innovative, you know. They don't do like something like they just trade some products and just sell it onwards. They do improvisations. They have creativity and all. So in that case, what we found out that if we can handhold them to actually navigate them through a proper market and channel, that will sustain her business. And if the money flows into their business, the business and she will definitely be more empowered to and will be graduate for another and next level of capacity development or any sort of other access to finance programs. So yes, access to market is the major opportunity for networking, also channeling their products, how to place it, how to contact, how to understand the market and target groups and all. These are really important. For as a financial institution, what we do, actually we have a large network, you know. We can actually take them through B2B connections. I mean, they can sell to the big corporations and all their products. And also we arrange fairs to give them better opportunity to directly connect with their customers. Majority of our, currently COVID taught us many things, and probably online businesses and online and Facebook commerce and e-commerce are really booming. And women are taking really good leverage into it because they do not need to go outside to the home and just to operate the business. They can do it from their home, managing their families and all the other responsibilities. So for them, definitely directly connect with the customer is really important, and we give them the platform. Currently, we're operating all over Bangladesh. Every year, we conduct 8 exhibitions and fairs where we actually cater more than 600 women entrepreneurs to get directly connected with their customers and all. Next level is the capacity development, I must say. And also we do networking events. Yesterday, I was hearing one panelist was saying that they do this sort of networking dinners and breakfast and all. We do the same. We actually invite them, and other partners and collaborators are also coming to the place, and they actually collaborate, and that really gives them the very good idea and networking opportunities. Capacity development is another very effective one. In our country, in like South Asia, business knowledge and business savviness is actually runs through the genes of men to men, I mean father to son. It's not women. Women doing a business is not taken very positively in our countries. We are a very conservative country, by the way. So, yeah, they do not inherit the knowledge of managing a business. Also, they cannot go to a coffee shop and just hanging out with other friends and peer groups to learn about business. So also they need actually very hand-holding in capacity development. And in terms of capacity development, we find that 3 things are really important. They're really eager to learn 3 things because they lack in it. Number 1 is actually financial literacy. I mean, how to manage their business in a more structured way. Because when I'm asking a woman entrepreneur, how much do you sell in monthly? A lot. How much? Quite a good number. How much? I'm not sure, I need to check. You know? They're doing business very emotionally driven, but not like they are very much conscious and knowledgeable and very much structured business owners. So financial literacy was one thing. Another 2 is emotional intelligence and also the mental well-being. They stretch themselves a lot, you know. And yeah, they cannot handle rejections. They cannot handle negative feedbacks because they come from a lot of struggles, you know. That makes them a bit hard from inside. And they've become very defensive and all. So how to manage that? How to, even I think the rate of dropout is really high. If we do not give them the proper mental support and take them the knowledge of how to manage their mental well-being, it's really difficult for them to sustain in their business. And another thing is how to prepare their business for the next level for financing. These 3 things, and marketing is another way to do it because that gives them the initial boost and sustainability to their business.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. NIKKI,
Thank
what's
you.
the story in Canada?
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for having me here today. I just want to start with a thank you to the Alliance. WMATB has been around now for only 3 years, and it's been incredibly successful in that 3 years because of the support we've had from the Alliance, the resources, the relationships, the connections we've made with many people in this room, Yvonne, who have helped make WMATB successful, so thank you.
Thank you.
So when we started 3 years ago, I realised right from the start, because of the Alliance, because of the connections I've made in this room, that non-financial services are incredibly important. However, what I also knew was that I wasn't going to go out to the market offering anything to any client if something hadn't changed within our own walls first. So I spent the first year to 18 months looking within our own walls at our organisation to see and understand how women really wanted to be treated. And that started for us with understanding what behaviours we have to show as bankers for our clients to understand us and for us to understand them. And the 3 behaviours we identified was firstly to understand her, to connect her and to empower her. And we believed that if we got those 3 things right, then that would be our differentiation in the market. So in terms of understanding her from a non-financial services perspective, for us it started with education, but not education of our clients, education of our own team members with gender intelligence and unconscious bias, like many of you in this room I know have shared with their team members as well. Our difference has been that we have had 98% of our ATB team members go through this accreditation program of gender intelligence and unconscious bias. That's over almost 1,000 team members within business. We've had 100% of our credit department go through this accreditation program as well, and also all of our leadership team, right up to our CEO, has been through this gender intelligence and unconscious bias program. And it's really taught everybody, whether they're client-facing or back office, how to support women, how women communicate, the differences between how male and female women business owners show up as well. And it has been the key to our authentic strategy in the market, because our clients really appreciate no matter who they go and see, they're going to get that gender intelligent advice. Supporting that, like my other panellists here as well, we've also had networking events. The way our networking events have differed is that we're bringing together small, intimate groups. And the reason we've done that is because this is what our clients are telling us. We extensively surveyed our clients and they came back and said to us, these are the types of events we want, very small, and bring an expert along, someone I can learn from, and introduce me to the other women in the room in a meaningful way so they can make meaningful connections. So we do that now. We hold either monthly or quarterly luncheon events where we bring along really great experts. It could be an expert on exporting, or our chief economist comes along and speaks to a very small room where they get to ask one-on-one questions. Our female clients are really wanting access to the same resources and experts as our male clients do, and they often haven't been invited in the past. So those events have been really valuable as well. And that's the piece of the behaviour connect that we're looking to achieve there. In terms of empowering our clients, this has looked like a number of resources that we've shared with our clients, but all in all, we created an ecosystem document, a one-stop shop of all of the partners in the Albertan ecosystem that support women business owners. So our clients can go to this resource and look at every organisation within our province that supports women, what they do, and how to connect with them. So it's a one-stop shop for our clients, which they've really enjoyed as well.
Amazing. Thank you. Sorry, I'm taking notes like crazy. Okay, so I want to now fly to Pakistan with FARIA. So the NISA program at HBL reaches 1.1 million women. And for its first few years was focused mainly on women consumers as opposed to business women, and has been hugely successful in bringing in large numbers. This is great because in a country where just 13% of women have access to a bank account in Pakistan. So can you share maybe in your experience, what are the standout non-financial services that you have actually provide through NISA, and what have resonated with women, and how you're going to translate that know-how into now applying support for female entrepreneurs?
Thank you, KARYL. So I'll just start off with setting the context, and at the risk of repeating myself, I feel being leading and spearheading this program for the largest bank, it comes with a whole lot of responsibility. So we at HBL feel that we have a responsibility to give back to the society, and we're intrinsically linked into the nation's fabric. So the NISA program, where we see it, is not just a product or a proposition or a women market program, it's a catalyst for change. And like you mentioned, we've evolved at a stage where now looking to go beyond just the traditional realm of banking and services. We've done quite a lot of interesting tie-ups in the last couple of years with financial accelerators, and I'd just like to talk about a few of those initiatives. So in the last 5 years, we've done over 4,000 financial literacy programs, all the way to the remote areas where we have mobile vans where we go to the up north, to the unbanked, underprivileged, and we run these sessions. The conversion rate for women to come into the foray of banking and now increasingly into financing, is now 80% plus. So we addressed over 90,000 females, out of which 70,000 are now our customers. We're now partnering with a lot of community and outreach programs. So, Pakistan being primarily an agricultural economy, we've recently launched an initiative which is HBL Zarai Services, which is offering a full scale of agronomy services to female farmers. And we started doing Kisan Ki Awaaz, which literally means the voice of a female farmer. We go to remote areas, and it's interesting that we talk about celebrating women, cherishing women. So we invite those female entrepreneurs to come back and share their journey. So we get those people to come in, because hearing from them and hearing from the bank on what they can do is a completely different story. So that's another initiative that we feel has had a lot of outreach and a lot of support, where when somebody sits in the audience and they kind of hear from people from within, it's something they can greatly resonate with. From the Zarai Services perspective, I'd like to share, because this is a very interesting and a very new model, where we're not only providing, we've hired female from agriculture universities, which are offering, tailored services depending on the kind of crops that you're growing. To the small entrepreneurs, we're offering storage space. So if you have crop but you don't have somebody to sell it to, that's a service that we're offering. And it's essentially, NISA, the entire ethos is it's designed by women for women. So when we hire these agriculturists from, agriculture universities, which are females, who actually go out and sit in these deras, which is a hub in Urdu, in our national language, there's a lot of connectivity, right? And with that, this is not just, a CSR initiative. We also have smart branches within these hubs. So, it's like an entire value chain and an entire ecosystem that we've been able to create. We're also doing a lot of tie-ups, with different partners. So HBL was the sole partner with Visa, and we launched She's Next, an initiative that, supported women entrepreneurs. And it's not only targeting at the winners. So we had about 5 winners that were given $10,000 each to support them from ground up. But we created forward linkages with an accelerator by the name of Catalyst Labs, as an example, that is not just training them, on how to set up the business model, but everybody who applied through the NISA program can become part of that mentorship program. So, a lot of those initiatives that help women come up to the forefront, because we feel that the importance, we can't underscore the importance of NFS. That's that. Another initiative that we very recently did was promoting esports. Pakistan has a huge population of younger women and men alike. So we did, a gaming session where we had a prize across 3 different cities. We had a full day program. Our entire management was also there to support the program. So a lot of these activities that we feel are encouraging and, getting women to come to the forefront and sort of supporting them, other than, pushing the financing products and sort of just going out there on those.
Very interesting. Thank you for that. So all of these 3 initiatives, or, very broad initiatives, need a lot of work and preparation. And so I want to maybe build on what Nikki touched upon in her first comment, which was the internal preparation that goes into it. And so I wanted maybe all three of you to kind of give us a quick overview of what type of internal operations you needed to do in order to be able to provide these non-financial services. Maybe KHADIJA, we start with you.
Okay. The first one is, first and foremost and most important is your management and your organization should believe in those impacts and sing the same song, you know. Other than that, because most of the non-financial services takes a long time to show its results and impacts. So that level of patience, budget, of course, human resource deployment, because these are not frontline responsibilities. These are functional responsibilities, and HR needs to be prepared to deploy some very good skilled people on this sort of things. And also, as non-financial services are for women, so it's always better to deploy women. So not every organization is ready to actually deploy such a large human resource on it. Also, budget is a big matter. I mean, these sort of initiatives are not giving us any sort of businesses instantly, not profit instantly. Rather, it's actually costing from your own profit from your segment. Mashallah, I must say that in most of the countries, women's segments are considered as, say, CSR. You know, it's like a CSR. We're doing this, we're doing that. These are just CSR, funds are coming from CSR. But trust me, in BRAC Bank, we are the largest SME bank in Bangladesh, and we hold the women SME portfolio, like 25% of the entire portfolio in Bangladesh. So on top of that, we have a very dedicated segment. It's called Tara. Tara means star. We consider each and every of our women customers as stars, and we actually treat them like queens. So definitely, I must say the internal support is really important. Your management should actually align with your own thoughts and initiatives. For budget, I must say, for many, many years, almost like for 7 years, our bank is actually bearing all the costs, heavy costs relating to this non-financial services, from capacity development to access to market, to access to finance, to access to knowledge, and also the mentoring as well. So this year, we are very lucky and thankful that I already said that there are some proven models in front of us. And we showed this to some very good heart organizations like Gates Foundation and DEG. Both the organizations have funded us a very good amount of grants to us. For Gates Foundation, they have enrolled $1.5 million for this non-financial services for women for BRAC Bank. DEG has enrolled almost like $260,000 for our capacity development trainings. And these sort of things are really helping us to continue this. Another thing, patience. For the team, for the entrepreneurs, because most of the times minimum turnaround time to take and see the minimum impact or the desired impact is 3 years. We need to handhold an entrepreneur for minimum 3 years to see the change and the desired outcome. So patience is really, really important.
Okay, interesting. But good to know that it's not CSR for you, so that's very, very important.
It's not. It's a very profitable.
Please don't ever consider putting women as CSR because it dies the next year.
Even it's more profitable than our regular businesses.
Exactly. That's what you need to hear. Nikki, how about you?
For sure. I'm pleased you said patience of our clients, not our own patience, because I think all of us have been successful running our businesses because I can speak for myself, I have zero patience. And that's one of the reasons this has been moving forward. So I would support your comment around organisational alignment. It's really important that our goals are our organisation's goals, and our work is in service of what our organisation is trying to achieve. Otherwise, we'll never be able to move it forward. It's really important because then the organisation sees the value of our work. Our work's in service of what they're trying to achieve, so then therefore it's important for their strategy as well. Each year when I'm doing strategic planning, I ensure that the language of the organisation's weaved throughout the language of my strategy and vice versa, so that we are ensuring that we're delivering on what the organisation is doing and furthering the organisation's long-term goals as well. The other internal piece that is incredibly important is data. I'm a banker through and through, and data is something that I'm really comfortable with, and I've heard it mentioned the last couple of days as well. And whilst the data that we collect is important and what we do with the data is important, what I believe is the most important thing is the story that we tell with the data. What does the data actually tell us, and what can we use the data to tell, what story is it going to tell for us? And I think that's really important. Right from the very beginning, before we started the strategy, before we started with our non-financial services, we started collecting data on both market share as well as what revenue we were collecting from our clients, and established some baselines and some objectives as to where we were wanting to go over time. And because we had that baseline from day one, we can now actually show the value of our non-financial services in terms of where it's moved us in terms of market penetration, as well as Net Promoter Score as well, because both of those data stories are really great stories to tell for our clients.
Amazing. Thank you. FARIA.
I think they've capably covered quite a lot, but just a couple of additions. I think, the most important internal benchmark for us would be, making sure that, your leadership is onto the bandwagon. So for us, like KHADIJA also mentioned, this is the brand ethos. HPL is funded by the AKILIAN Foundation, and giving back to the society is essentially, a key strategic agenda. HPL NISA is an initiative which is driven by the board itself. So that really helps us, get through to this. But other than that, I think what's most important is the cross-functional synergies that you need to have, because within our structure, we have a women markets program and a client segment, which is women, which cuts through across all products and services, whether it's retail, consumer, or SME. So for us, a key strategic pillar for success is that synergy, that collaboration, between the two functions to really go out there and make sure that we position ourselves as a leader in this space. And I'm happy to share that we have an 11% market share in the Women Markets program, and we're the industry leader. State Bank's Banking on Equality was discussed at length. In 2022, HPL was awarded as the best bank in the large category on that. And the way forward is for us to position our Women Markets program as a holistic solution, which is not only focusing on liabilities and retails, but particularly a laser-sharp focus towards women entrepreneurs. And a lot of the initiatives that I just mentioned, are recent, and that's a journey that we've embarked on this year. The key focus is to make sure that product specialists, your business leaders, your sales teams all come together. And like Nikki mentioned, data is the key driving force to be able to ensure that you have metrics in place that can, also help gauge results on this account.
Amazing. And we are going to come back on that keyword, metrics and data, a bit later. Next question, I want to actually kind of put something out there. So imagine some really nice philanthropic institution is going to give you a nice blank check to do anything you want in terms of NFS within your own region and your institution. What would be the top 3 non-financial services that you would dream of doing if you had unlimited funds? KHADIJA.
The first thing is, for my country, it's more applicable on capacity development. Because almost, I must say, 47% of the women entrepreneurs are dropped out because they cannot have that capacity to sustain and take their business to the next level with their own skills that they inherit already. So yes, women needs very good kind of and good quality capacity development trainings and everything. Number 2, I must say, and it's very costly as well, because the trainers, even the physical trainings, I must say, yes, during COVID, we tried many ways to train them in through online platforms. But what we saw sometimes when the microphone got unmuted accidentally, we saw that children are crying, someone is saying to her, someone is asking, husband is asking for his wallet and all. So yes, we always feel that they sometimes need to come out from their home and do face-to-face and offline training and courses. Disconnect. And I must share one experience that I really proudly say, that product development is something that every woman entrepreneur needs to cater. No, in fact, in our country there are some minority groups, they're very much talented. I mean, in the hill tracks, they are very remotely located. They do not have any facilities, but they have beautiful skills. And I must say, I'm proudly wearing one of their finest quality handmade, it's called West Loom dresses. And this dress is actually the outcome and impact of last 2 years of hand-holding, of giving them the product development training. They can do products like very regular household products they used to make, but they cannot sell it to the mainstream market because their product is not ready, you know. I mean, what I wear, they don't make it, but their craftsmanship is really good. So what we did, we actually take them through 2 years of almost rigorous product development trainings. They made their products. We gave them the raw materials because they're not going to afford that, you know. So we gave them the fund for doing that product development, develop the products and all. And then what? After they made the product, they were actually given a platform, a large national fair pavilion for them to sell it out. And trust me, they sold everything within 2 days. And I'm one of their customers. And number 3, the rest of the 5 days, they took the orders, you know, because these are very finest quality handmade products. These are costly, but these are beautiful, you know. So we give them the access to market as well. So product development is another thing for those like agricultural. They faced the large amount of heat from the climate change. And we also handhold them. For women, agriculturists and farmers, we provide different kind of services to get actually a bit of resistance for them to overcome that. So the third one I think I would invest on is actually their, I must say, this is a very unique one into their mental and physical health. You know, most of the dropouts are after giving birth. They do not actually, they're becoming very much stressed out, you know. So it's not like one-off. I'm giving them 1 day mental health training and then it's okay. No, it's a continuous journey. So what we do, we open a platform. We collaborated with multiple mental health organizations and they give free of cost counseling services to the women entrepreneurs. So those who are actually onboarded with us. Even many of the customers are not with our bank, but they are in our network. You know, maybe they're aspiring customers to me or my future customers, but still we do not focus on whether the possibility of becoming a customer or not in terms of non-financial services, but we open this platform for everyone. So mental health care, and I think this sort of journey is really important because they're not going to do that for themselves unless until we push them to do it.
Thank you. Nikki, a lot of money. Which services?
Well, I'm hoping it's a lot of money.
A lot.
Okay, because I would get a little creative with it and
Good.
I wouldn't necessarily use it for non-financial services. Instead, I'd set up a huge fund available for our women business owners and leaders to access the capital that they need for success.
Good. That's a nice way of using the money. That's a round circle.
So I think for us, for me, I'd personally say we'd like to create, you know, women entrepreneurship hubs, incubation programs, which provide end-to-end support from, you know, ideation to identifying markets, to really enabling them to become competitive and, building on to what KHADIJA earlier shared. So, and this was also very interestingly discussed in one of the panels yesterday. So in NISA program, it's a continuum. We have the high net worth NISA clients all the way to the unbanked. And what's very interesting is something that we've recently started doing, and it was discussed in one of the panels yesterday. If you connect your affluent and high net worths to the unbanked, so as an example, helping them provide access to markets, on International Women's Day, we'll do an event in which we'll have our high net worth NISA customers who are going to come and support women who have craftsmanship. So we had women who were making handmade organic soaps, in like a small town, and for these affluent clients, it's a great cause, giving back to the society. So we feel that those kind of initiatives have also really helped augment and build confidence both for the high net worths that feel that, like we were discussing yesterday, they have the money, they have the wealth, they want to invest. Another thing that we did this year was with Toni and Guy in Pakistan. Beauty salons is really an upcoming small entrepreneurship segment within our country, and there's so much room for it to grow. So we got together with Toni and Guy as a partner, and we started giving them basic training on what to do, what your life cycle would be, what product development would be, and how to sort of get the idea out of the door. So those kind of things I feel had a great impact. So if I had that kind of an opportunity, I think I'd like to build on creating a one-stop shop solution in which you're giving them access to market, you're giving them the know-how, the understanding, a holistic platform, so to speak, which really helps them in all facets of being successful.
Amazing. So I have one last question for my panelists, but I'm going to open to the floor soon, so please do prepare your questions. We talked about data, we talked about metrics. So how do you measure the impact of your non-financial services? What is success? Can you share maybe some numbers or maybe a success story very quickly, because I do want to use the full 10 minutes for the Q&A. KHADIJA.
Okay, so measuring this qualitative and quantitative both data is really difficult. So once we actually launch any sort of non-financial services, we have a baseline study on what's the current situation for the women entrepreneurs. So for capacity development, we have 32 parameters in which we actually take the data from the entrepreneurs while we register and get them onboarded. And after the mentorship, I mean completing the program, then the mentorship runs for almost 1 year. And for Tara, there are different women, I mean seasoned women entrepreneurs who are actually upscaled themselves to a different level. They become the mentors to us. And after the mentorship, we already interim assess them just to compare the data with the baseline survey and all. And after almost, we take 3 years to actually give the ultimate data monitoring. I mean the improvement areas where they have lacked, where they have improved a lot. So these 32 parameters are based on their sales, their inventories, how they have managed it, what sort of product innovations they have done. Also, this kind of things, also qualitative data as well. I mean their lifestyle data, their mental health data, etc., everything. So another thing is for access to market, we always try to follow the same metrics. I mean the baseline study, then interim study, then the ultimate study. That's how we do it, and we do it manually for sure. Because digital intervention or this kind of digital tracking system is under the processing. I mean, I must echo with FARIA that we already, we have been building an incubation center for women entrepreneurs. Hopefully by December of this year, we will be able to actually form that in Bangladesh, and then it will be very much digitalized, not manual.
Perfect. Thank you. NIKKI.
Awesome. So we take a holistic approach with our data. we measure our non-financial services aligned with what we offer for financial services as well. As someone mentioned yesterday, it's part of business of doing business with women. You need the non-financial services as well. So we take a holistic viewpoint there. The three metrics that we measure many, but the three metrics I'd like to mention today are revenue, market share, and net promoter score. So in terms of revenue, over the last 3 years, we have measured our revenue from our clients. Each year, our revenue increase from our women business owners is in excess of a 20% year-on-year increase, which is just fantastic. In terms of market penetration, we started with a market penetration in our market of 8.5%, so meaning we banked 8.5% of all women business owners and leaders year one. End of year 3, that had increased up to 18% in 3 years. Just a huge increase. Our net promoter score, that was a little bit more difficult to measure from the beginning just because the organisation has changed how we measure it. However, what I can report in the last year, our net promoter score increased 15% just last year.
Perfect. Thank you. FARIA.
So we're fairly new in this space, but what we've done is that we've looked at our women market program in tandem with SMEs. So the program, like I said, showcases a 21% growth, and has grown twice by 2x in the last couple of years. Our growth in the SME sector is 20%. So that's another matrix that we do look at. We also look at the number of SMEs that we're catering to, both in terms of the number and the volume. And in addition to that, all the activities that we do a pre and a post, and we've now started working on a voice of customer, which is going to lead into a net promoter score. Yesterday, we also discussed needs analysis. I think that's also something that HBL is very big on, and any and everything that we do, we run a needs analysis. And now that we're shaping and moving towards a different direction with the NISA program, as we speak, we're in the process of doing another needs analysis to identify where the underserved and underlying needs are, and that'll be a key matrix, the pre and the post, for us to gauge the success.
Perfect. So open to the floor. Wow, okay. Can we have the catch box? Can you just start throwing it around? Can we start here? There we go. That's the first question. Please, 30-second questions, one question, very straight to the point, no introductions. We want to get as many in there as possible.
I shall try. So it's for BRAC.
Okay.
So the question is, how many women from the NGO actually graduate to BRAC Bank? Because that's a good number to see, how women are growing in the economy. So how many graduate from your lending program from BRAC NGO to the SME? And then how do you segment the women? Because I do see that there's some overlapping in loan sizes for BRAC NGO and the BRAC Bank. So, with the great program that you have for women, are you losing out women to the NGO who are not getting all of these SME services?
Thank you. Right here, and then Rachel, and then there, and then we're going to go to Janet. I see you. It's going to come. Yes, very quickly.
My question is around partnerships. So how do you ensure that your partners who you work with for NFS actually have their goals aligned to what you're doing, especially in product development? Because sometimes in the rush to develop and sell not tailor-made, but like vanilla type products, you kind of go astray. How do you measure that? How do you track that? And how do you ensure it's aligned to the strategy that you want to achieve?
Perfect.
And I'll break the rules. Janet from the Gates Foundation.
Thank you. Rachel, and then you, and then there. Yes.
Yesterday, we had heard from the hackathon winner about NFS and on the digital app. But all three of you talked about touch. Most of your NFS is in person. Do you see any value to actually having the digital part as well?
Thank you. Right behind you, Inez. No. Okay, it'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. There we go.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Susan from the African Development Bank. Just a couple of questions. What is really the future of NFS? When we come to forums like this, we talk about the needs that the women have. But from your needs assessment, what is the future in terms of what they might need beyond what is currently offered? And then secondly, what is the future in terms of sustaining NFS from a cost perspective? Yes, it's usually from the bank's perspective, it's seen as, costly and all of that. But with the banks, for example, do you think the women will be open to maybe like a cost-sharing model, subscription model? Or what is the future to keep it sustainable?
Perfect.
Thank you.
We have Manar, and then we have here. No, right here? Maybe throw it back to, yes. All right. Okay, no worries. Very quick question, please.
Yes, quickly. But no, it's not working. Oh,
It is working, yes.
Okay. So
10-second
I
question.
was going to, yes, I have a similar question to Susan. So I just want to understand, how do you scale up this business? Because we have encouragement, we have education, and we've been having these. But what's next? I think it would be digital, but your opinion and like your innovative ideas.
So we're going to start answering, and Manar, I will try to come back to you. Please, Manar. Okay, so BRAC, KHADIJA, we're going to start with you. 20-second answers only, please, with the NGO and
to bank conversion,
exactly.
the graduation.
Yes.
Okay. The rate of NGO to bank graduation is actually not more than 30%, because formalizing business is really important to convert the business or graduate the business from NGO to bank, and most of the women entrepreneurs don't want it to legalize their business with formal documentation because the fear of tax and VATs and every sort of regulations and the updatation. So yes, but as a bank, of BRAC Bank, it's a large subsidiary of BRAC family, but we do not actually cater the women entrepreneurs from the NGOs, but rather those who are graduated already. The difference is actually NGOs can give a certain amount of loan, they have a bar, and above that, if any entrepreneur
It comes to the bank.
Yes, 500,000 taka is in BDT, is probably their loan limit, and above that they need to come to bank.
Perfect. NFS alignment with partners. So to answer that question, Nikki, you want to take that?
For sure, very quickly, I make sure that the partners that we're partnering with are aligned with our values to begin with, and they're market leaders in what they're doing.
Perfect. Digital financial services and digital, actually not financial, non-financial services, basically.
So I'm going to quickly take a shot at that. You're absolutely right, and it has to be a combination. The challenge that we run is what KHADIJA mentioned, that when these women are virtually online, they're actually not with us. So the impact that we've seen is a lot more in terms of those physical engagements, but they have to go hand in glove because of the outreach. So for us, at least, we have a strong digital component also, where a lot of these happen virtually.
Great. We're going to be the panel with the most questions in. Another 20-second question. The future of NFS and sustainability of NFS, how can we get that?
It's digital.
Digital.
It's digital.
Perfect.
I mean, yes, it's like now it's two-way. But we do not being able to actually make a platform or digital something available to the women entrepreneurs. Like if I want to know about like supply chain management, where do I actually look for it? Because most of the theoretical books are not practically possible to implement. So yes, the digital converted training programs should be there, and it should be can be a subscription-based model and all. And we are also planning for it for Module 1 and 2, it will be free. If you want advanced level, then you need to subscribe. So
Perfect.
Digital is the next best possibility.
And I think that also answers your scale-up question. So we're good,
Yes.
which means I can get, Manar, your question very quickly.
This is Manar from IFC, and thank you. It was very interesting to listen to the panelists. Two things. One, NFS allows for innovation. So what would, in each of your offerings, you would say that it was the most innovative element of the offering? And second, you promised this in your opening. What is the lesson learned from what didn't work and why?
Okay, who wants to take that? All of you? 10-second answers.
I actually want to go back to the sustainment.
It's blinking.
I know. I want to go back to the sustainment piece, only because it's really important that you bake the non-financial services into your offering. Like, I don't pull out the value of non-financial services versus financial. It's all part of doing business with women, and that's really important to share with management, and never try to separate the two, because that's when it won't be sustainable anymore.
Perfect.
Innovation?
Yes.
I will pass it on to you.
Okay.
So
Actually, I can answer based on your 3 answers what innovation is. Maybe lessons learned in 5 seconds.
Maybe lesson learned?
Yes.
Okay.
so 5 seconds. Are
5 seconds.
5 seconds?
You cannot think. You have to
Oh my
give
God.
straight
Oh my
away.
God, there are a lot of. Which one to pick from? Because I already told you, I burned
The
my
hardest
hand with
lesson you
it.
learned.
Dropouts. I mean, the women on. We cannot control someone's personal life. So probably we cater for we aimed for 10,000 or 15,000 women entrepreneurs to go into that, but dropout rates are really high in the beginning. So then we add many more stickiness and programs just to keep them sustainable. So
from our perspective, I think the key lesson learned is continuity and staying, steering the course. I think that's one of the most important lessons that we've learned. This can't be a one-off activity. It has to, like Nikki said, it has to go hand in glove with the financial services that we offer.
Perfect. I think that's a great wrap-up. I'm just going to add 2 points to that. I think to answer the innovation question, because based on what I've heard, is that now you can no longer separate financial well-being, mental well-being, and physical well-being from each other. So that seems to be resonating as a key component of your non-financial services. Obviously, one very important point is the baseline measurement that Nikki talked about, because I think if you don't know where you're starting from, you can never know where you are going. And measuring is key. What gets measured gets done. Organizational alignment is key. Although the service you're providing is external, but if your internal is not on solid grounds, you're not going to get much far. And then finding the right partners, because that's how you get cost-effective solutions. So finding the right partners that are aligned with your organization's objectives and your mission's program's mission objective is, I think, what works. Having cross-functional synergies internally, that's key. And then, most importantly, understanding women's life cycle in the way you provide your services is key. So thank you to my panel. Thank you for your questions.